How do we write decimal as a percent? Well, there's a couple ways we can do this. One way is to set it up as a fraction and then make it a fraction out of 100. So for example, 0.2 can be written as a fraction out of 10. And we can make this into a fraction out of 100%. There's my times 10 multiplier. I have a times 10 multiplier here, and I get 20%. So this is one way we can do it. We can convert it to a fraction, and then we can convert it into a fraction out of 100 using a proportional equation. Now, there's a little bit easier way we can do this, in that since we are essentially making this out of 100, we can move the decimal point over so that we can make it basically by multiplying by 100. So we can multiply this decimal percentage by 100, which is essentially moving the decimal over 2 places. Okay, and then that gives us 20% in this case. Okay, so we can do the same thing here. So we have our 0.45. We can multiply this by 100. We end up moving our decimal point over here. So we end up with 45%. So that would be the easy way we can convert a decimal into a percentage. The decimal essentially is a decimal percentage or a unit rate, and we can multiply that unit rate by 100 to get the percentage out of 100. So here we have move the decimal point over 2 places. We end up with 135%. Here, move the decimal point over 2 places. Just be careful. A couple things to be careful of. When we have one digit and we need to move it beyond that, we have to remember that there is an extra digit there. And when we have more than 2 digits, when we write the percentage, we're going to end up with part of our numbers in the decimal places of the percentage. And doing the reverse is just as easy. We can convert 45% into a decimal by moving the decimal point over 2 places. Okay, and that brings us back to 0.45. When we have something like this, just remember that our decimal point is going to fall in there. And if we have, for example, 8%, a 1-digit percentage, we just have to remember that if we move the decimal point over 2 places, we have to put a placeholder to get our decimal percentage.